Yesterday I was walking and twisted my ankle, and it made a loud pop. For about 10 seconds I couldn't put any weight on it, and then I started to just try and walk anyways, and eventually the pain went away. But it's pretty swollen. But today's town day. I have about 5 miles, about 500 vert gains, so it's not that bad. And Alex is here.
I'm just stretching over here. You got some fresh food. This shot means that you're getting ready for the trail.
It does. But I'm doing a different braid today.
What's today?
Just a regular braid. It's much faster.
Boring.
The other one takes like 30 minutes per side.
Well, we couldn't quite make it to Storm Lake where we're dropping Amy off. So we got about a half-mile walk to get to the lake. And I wanted to go see the lake, so I'm going with him. And that way Echo can carry Minnow's food for half a mile. Come in. Dust dog. Well, it's a day later and I'm still here. I was only planning on being here for like an hour to drop Amy off, but then she convinced me to stay.
No, I did.
Kind of. It's such a cool spot. I really wanted to get home because I have a lot of work to do, and that was pulling me to hurry up, but after a little bit of consideration and some wise words from Amy, that's what convinced me to stay, I guess. To take a break and just relax for a little bit. Then I can go home and work today. Time to go. You wanna come out?
No.
Come on out.
No.
Come on, Nick. Come on.
As I was sitting and getting caught up on my journal entries, I have realized that I have been in a funk for a few days. And I've realized that, so that's good. I guess I'll just be smudging myself and making prayer ties and continuing reading my documents and taking it easy. I twisted my ankle pretty bad, and it's actually getting better. You can see some bone, but it's still pretty swollen. Maybe I've just been pushing it a little too hard, and the universe was telling me that I need to slow down and focus on being in nature. This journey is coming to an end, I have a hard date I have to stop on because I have some business to attend to at the end of this month, so I will most likely do one more section and then leave for that business. I was also thinking of doing a section of not hiking at all. Hiking into a spot with 7 days worth of food and staying put for those 7 days in a remote area where I'm not distracted by people or anything, and just be one with myself and one with nature and see how that is going. I kind of have a feeling that that's something that I should be doing, so I'm probably going to follow through with that. This lake is actually pretty accessible to all vehicles, well, to a lot of vehicles, which is fantastic. But it also means typically there's going to be a lot of trash, which it was true. So what I did was I collected some fishing line, I found a hook, I tied all the fishing line together, and I kind of made a little bit of a fishing pole. I'll try and catch a bug and then just throw this out there and see what happens. But my ankle, that's what a regular healthy Amy ankle looks like. There's my swollen ankle. When I walk on it, it feels fine, but if I take just ever so slightly the wrong step, it does not feel fine. This morning I'm just having my usual tea and meal replacement shake. In my tea I'm going to be adding some freeze-dried peaches, and their quote today is, "May you create peaceful harmony as your life's purpose." And I had realized that I will be staying out here in total of eight nights, and I only planned for 7. But I went to go pull out a freeze-dried meal that John Bailey from Michigan Pathways, you can find him on Facebook or Instagram. I think he's better known for his podcasts. He sent me some freeze-dried meals, and I went to go pull that out and realized that that's not in my food bag or in any of my bags. I was counting on 2 dinners for that, and so I'm short 2 dinners. So I got it laid out, and although it's not the healthiest and I'm a little short, it should be fine. So what we have is, we've got on the bottom 5 days worth of snacks, and then in the middle here we have some veggies and meat, spaghetti and meat, spaghetti and meat, a mixture of snacks and a mixture of snacks. And that's going to be 5 days of dinners with some Cheez-Its spread out through there. And then up on top I have my lunches, which is pepperoni, cheese, and Ritz crackers. And then breakfast, which is not too many calories right there, which is where the snacks come in. So it's doable, and we figured it out. We'll be able to do all 8 days. We got to make it to Butte on the 7th. Last night I was not able to sleep again, and my thoughts last night were, I was just revisiting of like how many people that lived with us when I lived in California, and how that kind of affected me and what kind of people they were. Like, my dad's ex-girlfriend moved in with us, and I was super stoked about that because, you know, it was 2 guys and me, so it was good to have another girl around. And eventually her 2 kids moved in, Billy and Tracy. And both of them were really cool. Billy was super cool. We hung out with him all the time. Tracy was a little bit more of an alcoholic, but she was still really cool. She had 2 kids of her own. But her 2 kids lived with us for a little while, and then I think that introduced a guy named Mike who lived in our garage after they moved out. And he was a character. He would shoot my dogs with a BB gun. And then we had a lady and her 2 children live with us. I think her name was Judy. And she was a drug addict. And then we had another guy named Bill. I didn't know it at the time, but he got kicked out of his house for physically assaulting his wife and his kids. But to me, he seemed really nice. Eventually he left. Then we had a family move in. The mom had to have been a drug addict. I don't really know exactly. The dad was an alcoholic. They lived with us for a little while. They had 2 kids, Ernie and David, I think their names were. And David was a very abusive kid, especially to me. He made me bleed a few times. He stole my money all the time. They got kicked out, I think. Somebody stole my dad's credit card. The babysitter that sexually assaulted me lived with us. None of it was really healthy. And I think maybe some of my trust issues come from that as well. And my dad was never home. He worked a lot. I think my dad let them live with us because he did have a big heart. He cared about people, as well as it helped on rent. So it saved money. Freeze-dried peach? Yeah, right. I don't think you do. You just push it with your nose? Yeah, I'm very easy to let people go in my life, so that's probably where that came from. They just always came and gone. And then trust issues, obviously. That's probably why I never became like a druggie or an alcoholic, because I always saw how those people were. Anyways, we'll probably stay here tonight, and then I'll move on to the next lake and stay there 2 nights, and move on to a campsite and stay there 2 nights. So we'll just like meditate today and pray and prioritize, have a fire tonight. And now we have our fire going. We have our fire starter and kindling, our wood for the fire, and then smaller pieces of wood to start the fire going good. So, I may have rips in my shirt, holes in my shirt, rips in my shoes. But what I also have is a new tent. Well, not new to me, but new to this documentary and to this trail. Our 2-person, what I call dragonfly tent. Welcome to CDT Cribs. Notice I'm sitting inside the tent and my head is not touching the tent. And if you want to come inside, we'll give you a little bit of a tour. Just look at all that space you can put stuff in the porch. And then inside, the feet are nowhere near the top. Minnow can eat in peace without the bugs getting her. Minnow's bed fits perfectly with extra space. Our camera gear and the electronics fit nicely. And then up on top, we have like our fragiles, our electronics, So my phone goes there. And then our spiritual healing stuff. And then personal hygiene stuff. Now let's take a look at the camp. We've got a nice fire pit. I've collected wood. We've got a seat, which is amazing, and a table, which is fantastic. Lunch is getting ready to be served. I don't really know what this thing is, but it comes with a tarp, and we found a frying pan. Running creek right next to camp. And if you notice, it's almost noon, and we are not directly in the sun. Tent is a little bit right now, but it's shady because there's trees. You're not in the sun? You like it? Yeah! Yeah, man! Check out these views. Nino and I wanted to climb that on our way down. I thought we should come to camp first. Good thing we didn't, because my ankle probably wouldn't handle that well. And we've got plenty of water. Yeah. We have a new party member, Dark Dust Devil. Man, did you put on a costume? Did you watch 101 Dalmatians and you're trying to turn into a lab? Look at you. You goofball. You're so dirty. You're so dirty. I get to eat dinner today. Meat or beef and veggies, and I'll throw in some cheese. Cheeseburger soup. So it's just burger and veggies. You can see how it's soupy, and I add cheese. And that's your cheeseburger soup. We have just come across so many spiders at this campsite. When they're all just living in harmony. Some people have been asking, what do you do out there if you're only doing 5 miles a day? Or better yet, what do you do when you're taking a Trail Zero day? Well, that's kind of the point is to not be distracted. In our normal everyday lives that people call back to the real world, we have our cell phones, we have TV, we have computers, we have games, we have books, we have music, we have work, we have families, we have friends. We have so many things to distract us from our deep-rooted issues and just deep-rooted things that we don't want to deal with or we don't want to handle. And being out here, I really don't have those distractions. Every now and then I get service. Every now and then somebody walks by and I talk to them. But when you get the time to just truly just be and dive deep inside and learn to be comfortable with yourself, that's the point. When you can be comfortable with yourself, you can be just about comfortable anywhere. And with all this time, I have time to think about what I've been through and how that's affected me and why it affected me, and realize that I am doing those things and those things that I can change. And that's the purpose of going slow. we as humans have become really disconnected with nature and the real world. And that's part of this project, is trying to invite people to come back out and do those things. Now, when's the last time you just laid on your back and watched the clouds go by? When's the last time you watched the stars? When's the last time you really just sat and listened to your environment? The birds, the wind, the water, the bugs. Just really being in the moment. When's the last time you've got to really do that? That's when you can start to relax. That's when you can start to breathe.
It's really smoky this morning. The wind is cold, but it's hot. What do you think, Min? I slept until 10. I don't know when the last time I did that. Holy moly, I feel like groggy. Even though I'm out here and I am very grateful for this journey and the opportunity to be out here, there are still times where I feel like I want to be doing other things. But again, it's the small, short-term sacrifices for the big, long-term gains. And I've got to put myself first, even though I want to go out and do those things. So I think my steps that I need to be following are: search out peaceful thoughts within, and just ask myself how I'm feeling, to reconnect with those feelings and understand those feelings, and give an answer. And I don't know is not an answer. So this morning, I'm feeling groggy, and I'm really enjoying the glistening of the lake. For a few days now, probably starting from after the last section of where I got really dehydrated, I've been feeling very negative, I guess. I get mad easy. I'm allowing other things to just affect me more. And I think that's a mixture of working my body too hard and starting my cycle. They're called a moon cycle because a moon takes a month. You get it every month. And it can really affect with your emotions and your hormones. And it's never fun dealing with it out here. But we got some good sleep. I'm about to have some tea and watch the glistening on the lake. Hopefully the smoke clears up. Ugh. I was just listening to the birds and the inlet coming in on the lake, and the wind, and the fish jumping, and just got a real sense of calmness. It's okay to go 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Life is never a straightforward growth path. Good morning, everybody. Woke up much earlier than yesterday. Today we are going to be moving on. We got about 5 miles to the next campsite, which will be within 3 miles of the highway. I have to hitch to Anaconda or through Anaconda to get to Butte. I think it'll be a challenging hitch, and it will be my first hitch by myself, so I'm a little nervous. This morning I listened to my documents we recorded last year to put into a audio form, a universal law of free will and spiritual freedom of man. That's usually my routine is listening to that every day. And I had some thoughts. These thoughts might not sit well with some people, but throughout my life, I had decided that I did not believe in God. That if God was real, why would he put me in the situations that I was in? Why would he treat me that way? Last year, when we were around the Tetons on the CDT, we ran into a couple who were very nice people, super nice. And they basically, in a very, very nice way, told me that I was going to go to hell because I did not believe in exactly what they believed in. I told Alex that I do believe in God. I think I do. But if there is a God, there is no way he would put me to hell if I was a really good person who gave as much as I could give, and I was confused about religion and I did not believe in God. I don't think that he would send me to hell. God is very caring and very understanding. And that brought me into the, many miracles, I guess you would say, or weird coincidences that aren't coincidences that you just can't explain. When I was around 7, I was playing soccer in school, and I just had this really horrible feeling come over me, and I kind of dropped to my knees for a second. And when I got home from school, my cat had died. Another one is I had a dream that my company that I was working for was going out of business. And the very next day, they called a company-wide meeting and announced that we are going out of business. Another one that I ignored. I woke up early in the morning. It was during winter time. I woke up early in the morning to go to work as I normally do. And I had this voice in my head, this feeling of like, don't get in the car, Amy. Do not get in the car. I ignored it and I got in my car. And a couple miles on the highway, we hit a patch of black ice and we went in the ditch. And the car shot up into the air and then did a full 360 in the air and landed on the side, and then did at least 2 more full 360s and then ending on the tires. And I look at the truck and it is pretty bad. and I look at myself and I don't even have a scratch on myself, and I look at my dog, I look at her and she is completely fine, and you know, we should have died. We both should have died in that car wreck. One day I was driving home from work, so I knew at the time, and all of a sudden I just thought about Alex, and I just had this thought and this feeling that I loved him. When Alex was gone on a trip, we got on the conversation of like, I realized that I loved you when I was driving home, and he looked at me and he was like, I had the same realization. We tracked it down to the exact day and to the around the exact time that we both had that realization. Same day, same time. How do you explain that stuff? I've always believed in energy, and I think science and the spiritual stuff and creator, it all works together, and we can use those tools together, but we've got to all open our minds to it. I also feel like my negativity is lifting finally. When I was being very negative and just not happy, I was like, great, we're at square one again. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is dumb. Nothing's happening. But that was just like a couple of days. So don't give up. Don't let those growth spurts and then backtracks, don't let those get you off track. It's natural. It's going to happen. We need bad things in our life to understand the good. Strawberries.
If you haven't had a fresh wild strawberry, you're really missing out. So much better than the store strawberries. I ask that you keep us strong and motivated. I ask that you keep us safe. I also ask that I am able to feel my heart and allow my heart to guide me. I ask that my mind remained open, and I ask that my soul join me on this journey. I give honor to Grandmother Earth and to all the earthly elements and the trail that we've been walking on. And I ask that anybody and everybody that we have come into contact, may they have peace and happiness in their heart. I'm so thankful to be on this journey and to be able to be out here. It may be hard, but it is worth it, and I know that in my heart. Oh. It's cold this morning. Last night I just got hit with a wave of emotions and being really lonely and scared for today. Today's town day, and the plan is to pack up, leave my breakfast stuff out, go sit by the road and have breakfast. Hopefully somebody comes by and they're going to Butte and they'll give us a ride all the way to Butte. We'll see how it goes, I guess. Minnie, are you ready to go into town today? Minnie's ready to go into town today. She's excited. We just had one guy drive by. with no luck. But that's okay. Hopefully somebody else comes by soon. Well, we've made it to the highway with no luck. This highway seems to be pretty busy though, so maybe we will be able to get a hitch. I'll just stash Minnow down and go up just a little bit here and stick my thumb out. We finally made it to Butte, and I finally have gotten to lay in a bed after 3 or 4 weeks now. My phone charging and footage backup stations, my town clothes, some bags drying, all our charging stuff. This hotel is probably the nicest hotel I stayed in and reasonably priced, and they also gave Minnow a little goodie bag of treats. Yeah, I do want treats. Overall, I think we're both pretty happy to be here and take a 0 day and rest.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. We also have a Patreon page at patreon.com/mindbodysoulfilm.